Twipra hasna Kephek Kwrwi hasil Swnamnani haste haponi chai tumungbai salbrumno tangbadang nahari samung khlajai tongphano tabuk hastik nangai phekjai manikhnai chalaimani bai kubuloi turuk phek mungo klagi tongo rungsungnai no karibo noknukung khajak okra chakra tichrai khonai rok abo hai phek mungo gdalai klai tungai rokno lamkamo tubani nahar muktuyi fasalo aguliu tongma Tripura State Legal Service Authority ni toidin mumbai kaisa mukti hnei bedek Phiyok Rwjakha o mukti bedeni phasingte Kephek manibai kubulai klagi tongnai rokno te bania khlai tongnai rokno dakti dakti romoi o phekjani manino sokmarani nangnai hnei sawi khnarka te aboni bisingte lukurokni phasingte bo o mukti bedekno lukurokni chubachuni bagai toll free number bo tikhlaijakne hnei saikna raka o salni pandawo naroi okrangi manjaka Tripura High Court ni Chief Justice Operates Singh Justice T Amartanath te Justice Arindon Law Advocate Dr. Mohan Chamatena karibo hastini kerong chapnokni ojamarok porno karibo naimathang bodoni ojamana kari juda kerong kokchanokni kerong kunrokbo pandawo manjaka
here and connected through online mode. My esteemed brother, Justice Amarnath Gaur, the Executive Chairperson of Twipra State Legal Services Authority, Brother Justice Lord, the Chairman of the High Court Legal Services Committee, the officials of the state government, secretaries of different departments, the Director General of Police and other officials of the Police Department, the members of the judicial family, the learned members of the bar who are connected with us today, the members of Registry of High Court, Director Judicial Academy, Member Secretary Legal Services Authority, non-governmental organizations who are associated with this program today, members of the media, large sections of the society who must be watching us today, which include women, children, youth, elders, and people who are affected by this drug menace. Ladies and gentlemen, my greetings to all. I must tell and share with you that it's about 1 month and 2 days since I took over the office of the Chief Justice of the state. I was completely new to this place, and from the next day onwards, when I started going through the newspapers daily morning, the newspaper reports had one conspicuous news item, more or less on a regular basis, about how the police has been able to catch hold of drug peddlers in huge quantities, how innocent peoples are getting affected by the drug menace. Say, on 4th May 2023, 90.20 lakhs of contraband cannabis was seized by the police. Again, on the same day, 438 kilograms of ganja worth rupees 90 lakh was seized from Mungia, Kami. 1,000 Yava tablets were seized on 5th May 2023. On the same day, a huge quantity of brown sugar was seized in Agartala and people were detained. Brown sugar was seized again on the same day from some other place, worth rupees 1.5 lakh. I'm just giving some instances, though there are several such newspaper reports. On 7th May, about 60,000 Yaba tablets worth rupees 6 crores were seized and persons were detained. Again on 7th May, same incidents took place somewhere else. On 8th May, 90 kilograms of ganja was seized. On 11th May, 2,856 bottles of banned cough syrup were seized. Recently on 14th May, one person was detained with heroin in his possession. He was a college student. I was quite disturbed by this kind of a rampant drug menace pervading the small, beautiful state of Tripura with so innocent people. I carry some experiences of legal services authority from Jharkhand, where I was the executive chairperson of Jharkhand State Legal Services Authority. And we had been able to successfully launch and implement specific projects which are covered under the NALSA schemes and also the Legal Services Authorities Act 1987, directed towards the drug menace in Jharkhand, the drug menace which are affecting the street children, and apart from that, specific schemes and projects to help women who are suffering from domestic violence or torture during dowry. Then orphans who were rehabilitated, about 1,500 orphan children who either became orphan during the COVID period or before that also. We launched a project called Project Shishu, under which we are able to rehabilitate about 1,500 students, orphan children. And I'm glad to share with all of you that all of them are getting sponsorship benefits per month. None of them have gone to the orphanage. Everybody's studies has continued, nobody's studies has got interrupted. Many of the girls and boys wanted to get admitted in residential schools. They were admitted, and every 3 months I was monitoring the progress of their rehabilitation from data collected from all districts. So, with my little experience from Jharkhand, I humbly made a request to my brothers, Justice Gaur and Justice Lodh, and Member Secretary, Tripura State Legal Services Authority, to do something to curb this great drug menace in Tripura, to create awareness amongst the people of Tripura who are getting more and more affected and afflicted by this menace, and somehow to help them rehabilitated in society and ensure that de-addiction centers are also set up in the state where those who are already affected by this drug addiction can be cured and taken away from that. It is in this background that with the active support, guidance and cooperation of Brother Justice Gaur, Executive Chairperson of Tripura State Legal Services Authority, Brother Justice Lodh, this project MUKTI was conceived, and today it has been launched before all of you. It intends to serve the society. It is a unique project specifically tailor-made to the people, to cater to the requirement of the people of Tripura. Its objects are to create awareness among those members of the society, specifically the children young students, women, elders who either are getting victims of this drug menace or they are getting affected because some or the other family members are being drawn into the drug habit. This project intends to create widespread awareness amongst the people of Tripura in various ways with the help and cooperation of all stakeholders. I found out that there are only few de-addiction centers in the state of Tripura, but the challenge is so manifold that more and more de-addiction centers with qualified, experienced people in the field from the psychiatric department, from the health doctors, and those who are life coaches, they can be associated with these de-addiction centers, which are easily accessible to the common persons, common people, and not too costly, so that those addicted people can be brought to these de-addiction centers and rehabilitated. Our legal services institutions in every state has a very wide network through district legal services authorities, sub-divisional legal services committees, and through our team of panel lawyers, and most importantly, our foot soldiers, as I call them, the paralegal volunteers. These paralegal volunteers are basically and primarily responsible for the success of any legal services projects or awareness campaigns or national Lok Adalat initiatives. So we intend to use the services of these legal services institutions and their network for carrying out this awareness program throughout the state. But I know that this challenge is not limited to the legal services institutions. It needs the cooperation, active cooperation of members of the society from all walks of society, and specifically the different departments of the state government and the district administration. I cajole the high officials of the state government, specifically of the Home Department and the Police Department, the Health Department, the Women and Child Development Department, the Education Department, to be comrades in arms to spread this legal awareness across the state of Tripura. What we need to do is to ensure that through our legal literacy clubs and legal cadet corps, we are able to reach out to the youth of the state through educational institutions at the level of the schools, the colleges, universities, or specialized institutions like engineering or medical institutions or any other institutions of the state, where the chances of the youth falling in this habit of drug addiction is most likely. The cooperation of all of you is necessary because this drug menace is not limited to Tripura. In fact, it transcends national borders and state borders both. So the stakeholders of the police and the Home Department and the Narcotics Control Bureau all have a very important role to ensure that those who indulge in this drug peddling and such huge quantities are promptly brought to book. Their investigations are also conducted as per the mandate of the Criminal Procedure Code and the NDPS Act with all safeguards. The chain of custody of the seized drugs is secured in such a way that the prosecution doesn't fail at the time of trial. And the role of the judiciary, especially the district judiciary, is of similar importance, since they are also required to deliver prompt justice, quick justice, so that those who indulge in these kinds of smuggling of drugs, spreading drug amongst the youth of the state are promptly brought to book. We also need the cooperation of the Gram Panchayats, the village communities, where our paralegal volunteers and other non-governmental organizations should spread out to each and every nook and corner of the state, to every household, big or small, whether in the city or in the villages, so that it is almost like a census of every household in the state to check out whether any person in that family has fallen to drug addiction. But more than anything else, I would request the media, both print and electronic, to rise to the task as they have been doing, which I have noticed in the past 1 month, to not only bring the news items about the seizure of these drugs by different organizations or police department, but they need to spread the message almost on a regular basis through the print and electronic media that people need to come out from this drug habit and falling into the bad habit of drug menace. Brother Justice Lodh has rightly pointed out that we can have a helpline number under the Legal Services Authority, which can be accessed by anyone in need or anyone who finds that there is a drug peddling or drug smuggling going on in some area, or drugs are being sold, so that the machinery can be activated. Both the law enforcement agencies can be activated through cooperation amongst each other, and at the same time the legal services institutions also are equal to the task in ensuring that those who have already fallen into that habit, they are taken to the de-addiction centers, their families who are suffering, they are rehabilitated and they are brought into the mainstream of life. Any project or scheme of any organization needs a lot of discipline and training to succeed. Therefore, I request the officers working in the DLSAs to ensure that whatever activities are being carried out under this project MUKTI, they are properly documented and they are collated, and all these statistics and activities are brought to the notice of the State Legal Services Authority, so that we can rework and rethink on our strategies from time to time and ensure that the project becomes successful and our mission is achieved to make Tripura a drug-free state. I request all the stakeholders on this occasion to work in cooperation and coordination in our noble mission to ensure that this project MUKTI becomes a huge success, and people of Tripura as a whole and those upon whom it is being transported outside Tripura, they are also rescued from this kind of a drug menace. With these words, I thank all of you. Jai Hind.
Honorable Mr. Justice Amresh Kumar Singh, the Chief Justice of High Court of Tripura and Patron-in-Chief, Brother Justice Arindam Lodh, distinguished guests, and invitees present physically, and all other judicial officers and other stakeholders who have joined us virtually from different locations in Tripura. आज का दिन हमारे आमंत्रित पर सारा त्रिपुरा जुडिशरी police administration और त्रिपुरा के आवाम और मीडिया आज हमारे तरफ ये मुक्ति से नो टू ड्रग्स ये प्रोग्राम लॉन्च पर आपने आपका कीमती समय दिया। हम हमारी तरफ से और त्रिपुरा स्टेट लीगल सर्विसेज की तरफ से हम आपको प्रणाम करते हैं। बेटर लेट देन नेवर। ये जो कहावत है, this we have been hearing and also at times we have started implementing. It is time for all of us to raise to the occasion and say no to drugs. In the entire country, I personally feel that Tripura is one of the most affected state because of its geographical structure, and it is surrounded by our neighboring country. Here, since everyone is aware about the side effects and the negative impact of narcotic drugs upon the human life and the family, here I came across certain incidences where not just drugs, but even HIV is spread in rampant because of this drug menace. Through the injection syringes which they share, without knowing the effect, the person gets infected, and the same is HIV spread to the spouse who is innocent, and also to the children and other family members. It is a time for opening our eyes, our vision, and just give a thinking. My appeal to the public, state legal services and the entire state machinery, even the state government has also launched its campaign against drugs recently, we have seen in the newspapers. So we are also, on behalf of judiciary and state legal services, we say to the armed army, we are with you. And my appeal to the police and judiciary to unite and be tough against these narcotics. Thank you.